What's happening, my friends? Welcome back to the channel. On this segment, we are going to talk about the benefits of a red dot and compare them with iron sights. Are red dots worth it? So let's not waste any time. Let's get into it. All right, so here's my experience and my story with red dots. So I've been handling guns for quite some years, and I've always been an iron sights guy. That's what I learned with. That's what I'm comfortable with. But as time goes by, there's improvements, technology, advancements, pretty much across the board with everything in life. Things typically evolve, progress forward, and get better. Quote, better. Enter red dot sights. Here I have a Glock 19, and I have a red dot mounted on this bad boy. First time I used red dots, probably, at least 10 years ago or more. But back then I used them on rifle applications, and most of my experience with firearms were iron sights. So immediately saw the benefits, one of them being accuracy. You can get some pretty tight groups with red dots. Now, what are the overall benefits of using a red dot? Well, you have faster target acquisition. In theory and in practice, you're supposed to put sight or red dot on target quicker and get shots off quicker and more accurate. Now, from my experience with pistols, rifles, yes, that's accurate, but it depends on the individual. See, like with me, I'm not going to say I'm the greatest shot in the world, but I'm pretty decent. And in some respects, I actually feel like I am faster and more accurate at times with iron sights. That sounds crazy, sounds unbelievable to some. Some know exactly what I'm talking about and can agree, but that's what I learned with. My comfort level with hitting target specifically applies to like defensive distances. No doubt, in my honest opinion, I feel like red dots, as far as like target acquisition, getting shots off fast, groupings, accuracy, overall are superior to iron sights. But when we're talking about defensive distances, a red dot is almost unnecessary if you're carrying for self-defense. Because in a lot of self-defense situations, the distances that you're shooting at or getting off shots, they're going to be point and shoot distances. God forbid if you ever put in that situation, you're not going to have a lot of time to aim. So you're going to draw your firearm, you're going to point in the general direction, and you're going to get shots off. That's where drilling and practice come into play. Point of aim, get those mechanics down. And you could be insanely accurate with iron sights, drawing and shooting, point shooting, without even really looking down your sights. You're going to see them from a peripheral standpoint, and from so much range time and experience, the mechanics, you're going to more or less know where that shot's going to land. You're going to gauge where the target is. You're going to intrinsically relate it with your sights and your peripheral vision. And all this happens so fast. And you're going to get your shots off, and you can actually be really accurate. 5 yards, 7 yards, definitely closer distances. If you don't believe me, test this out. Go to a range. If you have access to steels, of course you can do this with regular paper targets. Point and shoot. Get those mechanics down. Get that aiming down without necessarily looking down the barrel. Target focused. Line up the pistol. Back of the pistol with your chin. Arms out. You're going to hit target at 5 yards, 7 yards, and like that. Now here's the thing. You can still do that with a red dot. If you practice enough, if you train enough, you can draw a pistol, you can draw a red dot, line up via mechanics and training. Repetition is just going to line up perfectly, and you can get shots off pretty quick just by having a target within the window. So, in essence, having a red dot on your pistol, it's almost kind of like a no-brainer. You're not really losing anything because even if your red dot craps out, you can still line up your pistol and get shots off accurately by using other targeting systems like the back of the gun, which lines up with the barrel. You can line this up with the bottom of your chin. You can use the actual red dot window, get the target in there, peripheral vision with the front sight. It's all training, repetition, and feel, mechanics. But with some, it's a comfort level thing. I'm an iron sights guy. On my EDC, I do have a green dot. but I switch off. This one's on my carry rotation. Something about old school iron sights, man. For longer distances, sometimes I actually find them more accurate. You can really like precisely line up where that shot's gonna hit with like a 3-dot targeting system, iron sights. Not to say that you can't with a red dot, of course. The smaller the dot, like a 2 MOA, that's gonna help with accuracy. Defensive red dots are like 5 MOA, 6 MOA. So wrapping up the video, are red dots 100% necessary? No, they're not. Are there a lot of benefits to red dots? Yes, absolutely. Do I think overall you acquire target quicker overall? Yes. You're not really losing anything by having a red dot on your pistol, because if it fails, if it craps out, you can still kind of line up your gun to hit accurately at standard defensive distances if you have to use your pistol to defend yourself. Go to the range, test that theory out. If you never train that way, if you go to the range and you're kind of just taking your time, cracking off shots by like lining up the sights or the red dot, try to do point shooting. Get shots off as quick as you can safely by just drawing, presenting, firing. It's aiming without aiming, if that makes sense. So yeah, I mean, I see the benefits of them. I don't think they're completely necessary. Frankly, I think you should learn how to shoot with iron sights first and foremost, get really proficient with irons, then cross over to red dots. Maybe I'm old school, that's the way I see things. I've heard the argument in theory that if you start with red dots and you get really good with red dots, it actually makes you a better shooter with iron sights. I started the other way around, so I wouldn't know about that. But guys, let me know in the comment section, are you a fan of red dots or green dots? Do you prefer them over iron sights? Do you feel like they're necessary? I feel like everything is going in that direction. There's been a lot of improvements, advancements with red dots and green dots, but some of us definitely still prefer iron sights. Drop those thoughts, guys. Drop those comments. I would love to know if you have one on your EDC. Why and why not? Thanks for watching this segment, guys. Hope you got something out of it. Appreciate you watching. Catch you all on the next one.